Okay, I'm going to say this and hopefully it helps somebody. This is why I don't put value on something that bleeds once a month. It's only pussy. I value getting head from a woman more than I value pussy. Not to say that I don't admire it when I'm in a faithful relationship, but all this hookup, random dating, I just don't value it like that. Sixth grade, maybe it was seventh grade, got my dick sucked. By the end of seventh grade, was in basically lost my fucking virginity. I mean, getting head in sixth grade kind of was my virginity, but at the end of seventh grade, my friend brought these two chicks over my house and we got down with them and switched up. Um, it was so crazy. Um, it was his girlfriend and she brought her big titty friend. I'm fucking with her big titty friend, and secretly he wanted to fuck her big titty friend. So in the midst of fucking his girlfriend, he said, "Man, let's do this shit California style. Let's just switch up." And his girlfriend was kind of nervous at first, and then I put that dick in her, and that was it. So these were my very first experiences in sex. Now I've always been a big dude, especially when I was working out heavy. I wrestled and did a lot of running and a lot of basketball. So by end of eighth grade, maybe start of ninth grade, I start sneaking away and getting into the swinger lifestyle, pretending to be 21. So, because I was a big guy, my very first introduction into the swinger lifestyle, I met this couple at a hotel and I wore my sports jacket that my parents had bought me for church and slacks, but I rode my bike up to the hotel and pretended that I just drove up there. And I hid my bike off and, went in there all smooth and cool. And I fucked the man's wife while he watched and jacked off. These were my first three introductions into the sexual world. From there, I was a dick god. I knew how to fuck without the need to bust a nut. I knew how to, because I always looked at sex as from then on, I kind of looked at sex as a who can make who nut first type of thing. And I really looked at the power of enjoying the pussy without needing to nut. So I kind of found that there was a joy in dominating the pussy. There was a joy in just making her moan and squeal a certain way. And then I learned how to pace myself with pausing, meaning that she may be busting a nut, and instead of me keep going, because I'm really not trying to get a nut, I'm just trying to dominate the sex, I'd back up, let her get her nut, do the foreplay on her while my dick rests, and then after she calms down, go right back in her, and in her view, look like a dick god. So because of these early interactions, I looked at it as a sport. I didn't look at it as, oh, whoopee, I get to fuck. Around 10th grade, that's when I got my first girlfriend that was Filipino. Maybe that was the end of ninth grade. She was Filipino. 10th grade, I got the Chinese girlfriend. Now, this was before I even started dating black girls. Mind you, I just had sex with two black girls that my friend brought over, but I wasn't even dating them long term because I was in this swinger thing and I was a young kid who looked like a 21-year-old, and I'm just sitting up here fucking. So, like I said, it just never became a thing for me. But I understand why some people it does because they rarely got it. So I started dressing more mature, acting more mature. Because I was slinging dope, I bought a brand new Camaro for like 20, I think it was like 20. I bought that Camaro. But no, 16. No, it was 12. 12. I bought that for 12. And rolling around my town in that. Prior to that, I had an old school Ford Falcon. Um, so I've always been a different type of dude. I've always set my own path, and I've never been really caught up in a lot of things that other people got caught up in. I've never smoked cigarettes. Uh, Barely drink alcohol. Can't stand beer. Uh, so my life has been totally different. It's not perfect. Just I didn't get caught up in a lot of habit forming stuff. When I was out there doing dirt, I did the dirt, had a quota for the night, and I bounced. I never tried to sell out. I never tried to stick around the spot for a long time, and you know, never really had to deal with too much police activity except the 4 or 5 times I got caught up. So again, I'm thinking money. Um, Parents had some issues helping the house, and you know what the dope man creed is, man. If you can't buy your mama a house or help your mama out, why are you selling dope? And gave my mama 8 G's to make sure that because they ran into some situation, and I gave them some money on the hush hush. Didn't want my father to know, but gave him some money just so they can stay afloat. Um, and that's what you're supposed to do. Again, pussy was like an afterthought. It was, I got other things that I'm focused on. I'm driving nice cars. I'm fucking men's wives. Um, and then the two girlfriends I had. So by the time I started dating black chicks, I really got into dark skinned black chicks, dark skinned black chicks. But I never could find one that was polite and nice, So it was always these light skinned girls, and so I ended up dating a black girl that was light skinned. It was really into her, and but she was a virgin, and she was somewhat of a dick tease. So I faded away from her, not because she wouldn't give sex. I just didn't that was my first introduction to a woman's moods, up and down, hot and cold. She, I was happy just being with her. I really wasn't even stressing sex because, like I said, I was getting it elsewhere. And for her, she wanna get freaky, and then when you get ready to pull the dick out, oh no, no, you're nervous, and I'm young too. I'm not understanding how to smooth you into this. I'm just trying to be your friend, and you trying to give me this pussy, and I'm trying to take it, but you don't want me to take it. And it's like, come on, man, let's just chill out. But then when I said let's just chill out, that messed her up. Like I didn't want her, so it was like, oh, this is too much, man. And then another girl came along, and she was older because she had been dealing with some older dudes. That was the 11th grade, but she didn't know how to. She didn't know how to be a friend. She knew how to fuck. She didn't know how to just be chill, just be cool. Everything about her was leading with her pussy, and she already had a child, and that kind of spooked me because I'm like, I ain't trying to have no kids, and I ain't trying to be nobody's dad. I'm only 17, man. And then I end up getting a girlfriend. Was with her for a moment. She was white. Um, what else? Then I moved up to Seattle, where it ain't nothing but white females. So I took all my dope money because it was just getting too hot in California, and I left on my own at like I think it was 18, 19. Oh, it had to be 18. The end of my 18th year, and just went and started myself a whole new life. Because high school, I sat up here and GED'd out of high school at 16, and I was going to community college at 17. I had a 3.8. I was a 3.8 honor student, and I figured out, why am I waiting to do this whole 4 years here at high school? Let me just get up out of here because they had a upward bound that you can go to. So I'm like, I'll GED out of here and just go to the community college now. So I was doing that because I just saw high school as too much of a social bullshit, friends and cliques, and, you know what I'm saying? And so I left and went up to Seattle, and that's when I met Jazz. Jazz used to wash cars for Ken Griffey Jr., the baseball player. So through Jazz, I'm hanging out with Ken Griffey Jr., and then Ken Griffey Jr. introduced me to Sir Mix-a-Lot's homeboy Steve, who was known as Kid Sensation. And Steve was just so cool, man. I mean, just the first black man to ever just show you love. Just really, really try to give you information that he got because, Anthony, Sir Mix-a-Lot had given it to him. And, that it was just a beautiful thing to be around that whole clique, man, of just seeing black dudes share to keep each other afloat. It was beautiful. I remember we all went out with Ken Griffey to go water skiing, and Kid Griffey bought everybody a water ski. And, we sitting up here, man, we didn't have to buy the thing. You could rent it. But what Ken did was, after we used the water skis for that weekend, he collected all the water skis, and it was some type of tax write-off he did because he went and put them all in a garage or a storage place. And he sold them after the year after he had claimed them and got the tax write-off. But that was my first inclination to, hey, these $1 million dudes are handling big business. This is bigger than just, wait for stuff to happen to you. I remember he bought Jazz, my homeboy Jazz, who was washing his cars. Jazz was just a friendly dude from Shreveport. He bought Jazz and his girlfriend a $300,000 house and just gave it to him. But like me and Jazz and JG, another friend of ours from East St. Louis, we was like, I guarantee Ken Griffey's writing that house that he gave you off some type of way and doubling that money back to his bank account. I guarantee. And what was told to me was that I think Steve's the one who told me. What was told to me that, now mind you, listen to everything I'm telling you. Pussy ain't even on my radar. We talking business, we talking traveling, we talking making moves. Now mind you, all this time I'm getting my dick sucked. I'm fucking females, fucking groupies, but not one time am I mentioning it to you because for me it's not relevant to power. And that's why I made this video, man, because it's hard for me to talk with some black men because all they can talk about is pussy. But let me wrap this up. So, we were like, I think Kid Sensation's the one that told me, said, I think Steve writes that off because so he can get it back. Because, when you make X amount of millions of dollars, you damn near paying a third of that money to the government. But I think it was some way he did it to where he can get most of his money back. And, it was just original to see. And then I got introduced to Alan, a guy who puts up concert stage overseas. And then I went and got a condo. Now, mind you, I'm 20 years old. I got a 3-level condo in Seattle, in Bellevue, actually. I think I paid 60 G's for that at the time, back then. And that was my base of operations. And then I'm with Alan overseas, and I start putting up concert stage in the music industry for 4 years. So we would live abroad because when you put up concert stage, sometimes that may be a long festival that can last a week or two, and sometimes it may take you a week or two to put it up. Then there's the festival, and you might take a week or two to take it down, and then you go to the next project. So I found myself living overseas. I was doing Ibiza before Ibiza was even Ibiza. We were doing Thailand. We were, it was just good. And I was not military, so I didn't have to go check in with military people. And my whole reason for making this video is that my journey was about power. It wasn't about pussy. I like pussy. I show you this picture of this young lady who I kind of actually miss her pussy. Her pussy was very good. But pussy has to become irrelevant to you. Owning things has to be more important than pussy. And when you talking to other black men and all they can talk about is sex, 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 that's not the black men you want to be around, because you're going to always have access to sex. But what you're not going to have access always is to power and powerful individuals. And it also is the reason why a lot of guys spend so much time discussing females and discussing, how females make them bitters, because they're not talking about power enough. While you sitting up here arguing with those females, there's an immigrant buying your house or buying your neighbor's house. While you sitting up there arguing with females, there's another immigrant opening a store in your neighborhood, opening a gas station, and he gonna make money off you. While you sitting up here arguing with females and hoping that they change one day or all that type of stuff, little old lady across the street died, and there's an immigrant buying her shit right now. And they planning to buy your house when you die. You got to understand that there are power moves being made. And the argument that I had with Steve made me realize how insecure a lot of males are. And they can only talk about sex 24 hours. They can't talk about power. They can't talk about being better men. And that's why I say the man mindset that Steve does is a scam. It has to be. You got to put yourself in a powerful situation. You got to put yourself in a powerful situation. Because sex is always going to be there. There's always going to be some lady who isn't getting touched enough, cared for enough, cherished enough. and she's going to look at you and be like, "Oh, all I got to do is suck his dick, and then I'll be in a comfortable situation. I'll get to dress nice. I might even get to feel like a princess." You got to understand, a lot of ladies want to feel like a princess. And a lot of these dudes don't allow them to do that. And that's why they go to lesbians and go to white men, because a lot of these dudes don't allow them to do that because they are just sex, pussy driven type of dudes. But you got to be about power, man. So, anyway, let me stop rambling. You tell me what you think about what I said in the comment section.